Hello, gamers. I'm back. Dracula, back and loving it. Why don't you start me up here? New faces. All around me are unfamiliar faces. Unfamiliar traces. Worn out spaces. Yeah, maybe if you're Twitter. By the way, I'm here as your friend. I'm telling you this, okay? As your friend. Maybe a crispified celebrity. Me after I get a sunburn at Disney World. I'm not that crispified and I'm not that famous, but I was very sunburned. What was I talking about? Oh, I'm telling you this is your friend, okay? If you think that you're funny, join the club. It's in your own self-interest. Whenever somebody says Twitter, we're going to stop correcting them and saying that it's X, because it's not, okay? It's Twitter. The Ottawa Senators do not play at the Corral Center, or do not play at the Canadian Tire Center. They play at the Corral Center. The Toronto Blue Jays do not play at the Rogers Center. They play at the Sky Dome, okay? And it is, you better be darn sure, it's not Los Angeles Lakers playing a home game at Crypto.com Arena, okay? That's the Staples Center. I don't care if they went out of business 19 years ago. It'll always be the Staples Center, okay? Whatever it was called when you were 18 is what you're going to call it forever. So if you're under 18, sure, buy the blue check, call it X. For me, we're not going to that point, okay? Okay. Early on, I am sweating it, honestly, because we're not really looking great on getting a level. And if that's the case, to be honest with you, I should have done this in a different order. Actually, I really like this. We're going to sell our fish. We're actually going to double the dromedary, buy a snail. I would be content to actually get a little extra going on you as well. Now, I understand the problem here. The problem here is that with nothing in the shop, we don't know what's going to get the buff from the dromedary. But here's the thing. It's probably not going to be worse than a chipmunk, which might be like one of the worst animals in the game, in my opinion. I do think a seahorse can be interesting this week, but not as good as an eggplant. Because the main way I think you would get benefit out of a seahorse is like getting a little lucky and disrupting your opponent's ox. But unless your opponent is running their ox in position 5, which is possible, but not super likely, or you got like a level 3 seahorse, like you can't really expect it to work out that well for yourself. But not impossible, but not super likely. Now remember, winning is great, but not losing is totally fine here. Me personally, I would say like a sea urchin is totally fine. I would say a beluga sturgeon is totally fine. And then I would say a second beluga sturgeon is totally fine. With God as my witness, I don't see why we wouldn't do this. I think we want it like that. Okay. So I don't love our team, but we're kind of getting set up for levels, right? Like what I might want to see, I know we didn't freeze anything. It's because I don't want either a frigate bird, which I always see like this is a helmet and then like this is the animal. But I recognize, I have to look at it very closely, but this is the eye and the beak and then it's got like a, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. Oh, baby, we're back. No pills, by the way, so we can't create a dolphin out of our beluga sturgeon in the shop, unfortunately. So it's just tough luck. Like, that's not what you want to see. It's 2 snails, but that's life in this business sometimes. We take our level. Is it a buy-sell week? That's a tough decision to have to make. I don't really think we've got great buy-sell opportunities. There's no clam. There's no shrimp, no platypus. I think the hawk is probably like decent enough, at least to run for a minute. And then, truth be told, I think this is an okay situation to just like run an ox. And probably next turn, we'll be looking at combining our dromedaries to put an ox out there. The ox is one of those units, the number one pet peeve people have about me, except for like the one that is hypocritical, in my opinion, where they're like, oh, I love watching this guy because of his interesting banter. But then when I'm bantering and I like miss something on the roll, they're like, I hate this guy. He made an imperfect play. Listen, you can't expect me to respond logically to criticism that's about me. It hurts my feelings, you know? You're in the exact same way. You're just probably criticized quite a lot less, so you don't have as much experience with knowing thyself, quite frankly. You know, if your teacher accidentally takes off like one extra half mark on an assignment that you felt like you deserved a 99 on, you only got a 98, are you going up and talking to her after class? You probably are. So, you know, you can understand why I would find myself in a similar position. Regardless, the other complaint is that sometimes if I don't get a unit that's good 2 turns before it shows up normally, i.e., like if I don't get a jellyfish, or the jellyfish is a bad example. If I don't get an ox, which is a tier 3, if I don't get that on my turn 3 level up, then I'm like, oh, it's not good enough when it shows up on turn 5. I acknowledge, I think I have that bias. I will also acknowledge that I think the ox is a different story, especially because we turbocharged it. I'll pick this laddie up on turn 5, turn 6. I might even pick him up on turn 7. He might be that meaningful. I'm feeling comfortable so far this week, partly because it's a Monday, so people haven't sussed out the whole meta yet, myself included. But now, we should get a level this time. That, I hate you. Any other unit would have been pretty sick there. We should get a level. Let me see. It feels like this week, people run big unit at the front. I think it's like more valuable to keep a Hawk than it is to pivot to a Gariel for no reason. I'm honestly not comfortable swapping anything out to get a Giraffe. We need a level. Okay, I am willing to sell Sea Urchin to roll a Skunk. I guess, what if we did it like this? That's kind of interesting, right? And you're not going to get sold first, so I'm just going to give you some garlic just to hang in there. Like in Arena, I'm starting to... It depends on the weekly. In Arena, you're kind of setting yourself up. If you have to like lose a couple of rounds in order to get the hammer to drop so that you can scale fast enough, you can like pretty much guarantee yourself 10 with a little bit of shop luck, right? In Ranked, we always have to maintain a degree of concern about our HP. Because, I mean, if you lose to a team, you're probably going to lose to that team again. So we're just trying to play it cool here. I don't really think we need another Beluga Sturgeon. You are going to get sold at some point. This is very nice. I would say right now, that's also good. That's fantastic. I would say we're blessed that we haven't gotten the best shop luck I've ever seen. But... we've done pretty well. I mean, I can't be mad about still having 5 HP. And I think that we're set up for late game units this time. Whether that's like a lion. I know this is what people complain about me saying, but it is a little... It's not as early as it could be to get a lion. Or, I mean, it's too late to start a hippo, I think. What do they have at tier 5 and tier 6? Snapping turtle with a skewer, swordfish, which I don't mess around with, but maybe. Puma, dragon, it's a perk. We have high HP and we're not attached to our units. It's the absolute dream dragon situation. Oh, baby, please. Please, it's the perfect setup, bro. It's the perfect setup. Nah. Makes me sick. Okay. There's no pills this week, and there's no one-ups. So the mammoth is like a tough sell for me. Gorilla, it seems like it could be great. Don't get me wrong. We need to have a scaler. I mean, these are units we should go. It's not going to be Puma. It could be Lionfish. We need to find a way to scale its attack. I guess that would be with Seal. You know what? Let's give that a try. You do 7 damage. You're basically, you're pretty much the same. So I'll pop you out there. I really don't want a mammoth just to have one. I guess I wouldn't mind. a gorilla just because it's a great unit. And then we're really, really looking for like scalers in the future. So I think we downgraded our team slightly right now. The hopes of upgrading it drastically in the future. I'm telling you, with no word of a lie, the dragon would have gone insane. It still could go insane if we get it on tier 6 because we got a lot of HP, but... My ox? I'll take it. I'll take it. We're hanging in there. I think a lionfish level would be great. The gorilla's fun too. I'm a gorilla enjoyer, okay? And I don't think the gorilla... Well, the gorilla might be going somewhere if we get a dragon next turn. So, I mean, the skunk is not going anywhere. So hit me up with one of these. How we looking? We just drew you, but if I'm being honest, no disrespect to Velagar, you got no future, brother. Level 1 jellyfish on like turn 11. Level 3 fish is your anchor unit. Like, you're getting torched at some point. If it's not by me, it's by someone. Now, you got a dragon, you scare the crap out of me, but you do only have 2 HP and the rest of your squad's not that impressive. I'm pointing at the screen. That's how you know this is serious, okay? Hippo, I feel like Hippo is... Can I say it? I feel like it's kind of a trap this week. Just because, at least for me, anytime I see a skunk, I'm like, pack one, pick one, skunk me, okay? So we're always doing, at least in my estimation so far, it seems like we've done very well against Hippo teams, just as a result of the fact that the Hippo's eaten all the skunk damage. I guess if you had 2 high HP units, that would change things, but... It's a little early for that yet. A dragon. Thank you so much. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to sell you. We're going to buy you. We're going to sell you. We're going to buy you. And everybody's getting a nice buff here. And we have tennis ball maybe to break some equipment. I would rather just go for the guaranteed lionfish damage right now. And then we got another dragon backing us up. Oh! Is nice. Let's put it that way. Let us run an ox here. Now, we have a problem with our squad. You can't have everything. Unless your squad's 50-50 and all of your 50-50s are snipers, you can't have everything. Our problem is that right now, our base level of stats is really low. But we got a great engine for the future. And Velagar, I warned you. I warned you. It had to happen at some point. I'm sorry. We got a great engine for the future, and I'm feeling A-okay. So obviously, like, you're sold. I'm sorry to say this to the Ox. You're sold as well, because we can get double scaling here. And this is a really good spot. Unfortunate. I would go Stingray just to get another stinky sock out there, honestly, just to double up on the skunk ability. And then straight up, we just run a hawk just because we can. It's a little expensive when we could instead just be investing and rolling for tier 1s, but I mean, looking at these other squads, I'm honestly, like, I think it's not a bad idea to have another stinky sock out there. Like, we got units or teams that have some serious, like, killing power. I'm pretty proud of myself. I think the stinky sock might have made a difference there. Only 3 gamers remain. I think we got the best scaling power. Everybody else has a dragon too, but do they have 2 dragons, Pippin? Can you do me a favor and take this? Get some tier 1s, please. I mean, I'll just honestly just throw you out here for a second, but I think we've had pretty bad chop luck since the dragons, but I'm not going to complain having received the dragons, obviously. So we're probably up against Zezus now. They got their own lionfish. I got my own lionfish as well. We got our own stinky socks too. Hang on, it's a spooky team, bro. It's a spooky team. It's a draw, but that was a clone too. I'm a little scared about that one, but I got faith in our future, okay? And I think we just keep this rolling right here. A melon will always go a long way. Oh, baby. You're making me crazy every time I look around. Every time I look around. Okay. Now, next turn, we go melon Gandalf style. Don't even, now it's just put a horrible image into my brain. Oh. Gandalf Melon style. Hey! Mines of Moria. Oh, Mel. Gandalf Melons, because he's speak friend and enter. It's a Lord of the Rings thing. I wouldn't expect you to understand. Okay, so it's you and me. It's you and me. You got me last time. Level 3 skunk would really hit the spot. Having 2 extra melons can't hurt. I'm just gonna roll for tier 1s. We got plenty of room to play with here. Let's put it that way. We should be running weaker units at the front to break the melon armors, though. How we doing? That was a big turn. We just won. Oh, he's kind of cooking this week. He's so far. I should record on a Monday more often. Holy, man. Bald people scare me. No disrespect, you should be a little scared on that 1459 ELO. But you didn't hear it from me. Skip me. Let me get the tennis ball, please. I think the tennis ball gives us the best chance of not losing this round. But really, as long as we... let me be like a vivid... maybe a grabby kilt, grabby computer, ballistic computer. I mean, some of these are real things, I think. Grabby kilts sounds like someone that got banned from the Twin Peaks restaurant. Are you familiar with the concept of this? I've never been. I believe it's a restaurant where it's kind of like Hooters but Scottish. Irish? Scottish? Celtic? Gaelic? I'm doing my best, okay? They play the Proclaimers, whatever that means. I'll happily take my draw. Because all I want is to have 5 HP and then have a realistic shot of a level up on turn 3, which we're going to get when I go out. And you know I'm going to be the guy who has seahorses. And then the straw is like rubbing up against the aluminum can. Not the best sound of all time. Hey, can I ask you something? If you drop a penny into a bowl of Coca-Cola, it starts to dissolve the penny after like 24 hours. What the heck are the cans made out of then? Are they made out of vibranium? I don't understand. What is this the same stuff they build like the space shuttle out of? It doesn't make any sense to me, man. Are we using all of our most precious metals to can Coke Zero? Okay, ox me. Giraffe actually strikes me as like a pretty good get here. It's a pretty smooth wave we're on. And honestly, like the seahorse is what it is right now. I'm going to buff an urchin instead. And we're just going to throw out a cockroach. It'll be like a 3-4 next turn, which is pretty decent. But like, I think getting an early giraffe is pretty good. Now, what do we want the giraffe to hit? In my limited estimation so far, based on a relatively small sample size, but of pretty good results, I feel like the ox is like, it's the early to mid-game scaling superstar. If you can get an ox going like crazy, you will not die in the mid-game, which is a foreign concept after the weekly that we just went through last week. So I would be very grateful to get an ox. But I think an urchin, also, it seems to me, they have an ox, so I'm a little scared. It seems to me like an urchin does a really good job, it's not surprising, of mitigating the effects of one big unit. Like, I almost think it's just like an anti-hippo play. I know you could level, but... And an anti-hippo play seems relevant to me this week. It does. Anti-hippo, like, one big jellyfish. Please keep in mind, like, one big jellyfish is kind of like my dream. It's kind of what I want to roll. But sea urchin is kind of like a flea, kind of like a skunk, but before skunk shows up. As long when other people are running oxes and we don't have one, we're behind the 8 ball. We're kind of rooting for like a nice matchup here. Because Lyraman, like you get the Beluga Sturgeon seems pretty good early too. So these 2 units, that's going to be tough to beat. Any other squad? Depends on the power of your jellyfish. If you get an early level 2 jellyfish, I'm scared of you. Otherwise, I think we got a chance. Hey, this just looks like a normal team. I couldn't be happier. Stay on target. Now, Ox me? Ox me a question? No Ox. The weirdest level we could have asked for. Into an early Hippo. If it was ever going to work, it would be now. Okay? So here's what I'm thinking. You're going to sell me. And then, this might seem a little scuffed, but the sea urchin first is going to probably set up a guaranteed kill for our Hippo. And early on, Hippo Garlic could go insane. I've been on the record as saying that I don't think Hippo is that good this week because there's a lot of ways to counter high HP. Stinky Sock from a Stingray. Skunk, which is just like everybody's 5th favorite animal, myself included, so it gets taken all the time. Sea urchin, even sea urchin itself, but this is the earliest we could get a Hippo. We have a Hippo enabler. We have good equipment on the Hippo. I mean, my levels of confidence just went from like a B- to an A-, I would say. Now, admittedly, I don't really look at the whole graph. I mostly just look at the rate of change. So if we get Isaac Newton on this one and the derivative ends up taking us into the negative, then I'll probably believe that we're screwed. Oh, we got a little lucky because their urchin didn't quite get the job done. But okay, very nice. Let's see the quote tweets. Could use better scaling too. I don't know what I'm going to do about you, brother. Now setting up 2 kills would be sick too. I think we're rolling for levels. That's mighty nice. You know what? I'm sorry to say this. I think we're going to be buffing our giraffe because it seems like this laddie's going to be sticking around. And then realistically, we will probably lose a round in the next 5 rounds. So I think you can hold the snail until that happens. And if it doesn't, beautiful, because then we probably just eliminated everybody. So who's scary? I think right now we're blessed. Nobody has a level 2 jellyfish unless you just got one. We don't have super strong units up at the front. Next round is where we would expect to see skunks start to come out. But if we could keep as much HP as possible, we could even. I think the defense that we have to the anti-hippo strategy is wide scaling. Level 2 giraffe, I'm not going to flatter myself. That's not that wide. Oh, they got their own hippo. Whoa. We're gonna be just fine by a little bit. Lyramin, a god can bleed, huh? Well. But, you know, I mean, already know where I'm going with this. At some point, we could get a dragon. So I do think the heron can go crazy. I'm going to be honest with you. I know I said we were keeping him, but I don't think that's the case anymore. I think we're coming out here. The garlic is still meaningful. But I think we're looking at something more like this. I really don't want to get rid of the sea urchin yet. I think it's done a good job. And I think that you're not a heron, you're a crane. But either way, I appreciate what you got. It's the fastest way we could get a melon right now. Anybody get a... You did get a level 2 jellyfish. But between our skunk, our sea urchin... You are... I'm hoping somebody else knocks you out this turn. Chicken dessert. _XOXO, comma, Cody. But I'm feeling like we're doing okay. Now, let me also look. We're on 4 HP. 2 other people are. Some other people a little close to elimination. I certainly feel like we're in an advantageous setup. It's chicken dessert. And it had to be us, okay? I'm sorry to say it, but it had to be us. Bald people scare me. Also eliminated. Justifiable fear, apparently. You're tempting. I got to think about, well, what would I sell, man? I don't really want to sell the sea urchin, India. I don't think we're rolling it. We do want this, obviously. I kind of want, it's not, like the giraffe doesn't scale super well, but still. How are we looking here, laddies? Nope, we got 1 skunk on Dewey's. Now, Booty. I'm so sorry. You're torched. I've been there myself. Oh, that's actually, I didn't realize they quit. That's even funnier that they said bald people scare me and they abandoned the game. I mean, maybe they were in character. I'm so sorry, buddy, though. Like, what's going on here? Level 3 balloon, a gecko with garlic. Crane, a little optimistic. I mean, like, what happened? I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just like, we're on turn 8. Oh, I didn't mean to go back to my replay. Turns out I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just confused, I suppose. Like, how do you got all tier 1 animals this late in the game? Okay, well, you know, you sniped my laddie, so I'll give you credit where credit is due. Now I just feel like I was rude there, and I'd like to apologize. We're in the top half. I would say the top half here does not guarantee... I still like you, man. I think we got to roll this squad. If anything, the giraffe could still get sold. Yeah, I'm going to keep it going. If anything, I think we got to come, like, probably top... Oh, we're not top half yet, but I think we got to come, like, top 3 if we're going to make this. If we're going to get points. And I'm looking at the other squads, I'm not thrilled. Because a level 2 sea urchin kind of ruins our hippo setup here. The rest of our squad's no slouch. I mean, they got to do some damage at some point, too. They're going big on the sea urchin. Your urchin's a little behind. I think we probably win... I gotta think about it. Your crane setup's annoying. I don't really want to play Lyramin, and I don't really want to play Deweese. I think we probably do decently against the other two. I think we might even draw against Deweese, but let's see. It's Deweese. Brother, I don't think we're drawing this. I think they've pulled out some kind of miracle here. Just hold. Hold. Chocolate would go crazy. Hippo is like... Here's the thing, brother. I'm making a judgment call, and my gut has been okay so far this week. My judgment call is that we don't have enough HP to finesse the dragon pivot here, okay? So let's just think about this. There's a very likely chance we go up against a sea urchin. Well, we're screwed in a way. Because if we go up against the sea urchin, we don't want hippo at the front. But if we go up against a hippo, we do want hippo at the front. And we can't really put anything else at the front. Like, we can't run... just send it. Put some faith in this, like your Sting. He sings that, right? If I ever lose my faith in you, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. He loves to do a little syncopated Andy action. You know what I'm talking about? Ah, oh, son of a gun. It's disastrous. Lyramin clone just took me out. Okay, well, our giraffe is not going to scale us fast enough. We're kind of hurtling towards a 4th place finish here. What if you just scale your way out of oblivion? Chocolate would have gone insano there. And you pretty much gotta go, man. But not yet. So Deweese got roasted. I'm very thankful for that. We're probably gonna play Lun. Lun's gonna get skunked. Not a hippo up at the front. But I think I'm making a bet that we're going to go up against Lun, okay? So their rabbit is going to get torched by the skunk. Then it's going to kill our urchin. Our urchin is going to reduce both of your HPs to 0. Our hippo is going to kill your rabbit and live, get a melon armor, kill your hippo, and then we're going to run through the whole squad. That's the dream. But we have fallen in the power rankings, right? We peaked when we took out one of Lyramin's HP, but we've fallen since. Everybody's got a little anti-hippo hater technology here, so we're doing what we can, okay? This is not, it's not who I expected to go up against. I'm not crying yet. I'm not crying at all, okay? We punched our ticket to the top 3, and it's a hot one. Nobody's on lethal. Give me this. I don't necessarily expect it to pop, but we're gonna try. And we literally, I mean, it's the sort of thing that could make a difference. So we got no urchins to worry about. It's all hippos. Now, Lyramin is the one we got to set up for. I actually feel like we probably... We have to run... Ah, that's real spooky. If we're up against Lyramin, we need our hippo to be up at the front so that they don't get an activation from their crane. And we fought Lun more recently than we fought Lyramin, so I mean, that might not even be how the pairings work, but it's Lun. No! Wait a minute, we're fine. Everything's okay. I've got nothing to complain about. Now, we don't want to change anything on this one. If anything, you can take salt. Not that you would need it to do that much extra damage, but I understand we're not buffing our hippo any longer, but kind of we're angling for the checkmate. We're not worried about promoting a pawn to a rook if we got mate in one, right? We don't have mate in one, but now the dream is that we go up against Lyramin, hopefully beat them, and then Lyramin or their clone beat Lun and take them down to 1 HP. Worst case scenario is simply that we lose. And honestly, if they drew, that would be bad, because it would... Lyramin losing is very good for our overall ELO expansion. No disrespect, Lyramin. I'm still mad at you because you got that ox earlier. And I didn't, but that's, you know, it's the way of the world these days. This seems huge. Now, they've already lost, apparently. They're on 0 life. Now we enter the chess match. I know we just had mate in one, so we're kind of mixing metaphors, but now we've entered the chess match. Now you got your hippo in position 3 here, with a doubled up affect via the tiger. We need to be able to, we're going to take, I think we win this setup right now. It takes us, first hit, nobody dies. We get a melon from the crane. We kill you. Next time, we don't die to the giraffe. We get a melon. We kill you in 1 hit. Melon versus melon. We might even kill you through the melon, but even if we don't, the rest of our squad rinses yours. So no disrespect. So right now, I'm like, I don't think you need to change anything. As crazy as it is, let's set up for a possible urchin level. That gives us a Hail Mary. We could always move Urchin up to the front. If it's level 3, when it dies, it'll nuke all of their high HP units. Okay, they've augmented the squad a little bit here. It went exactly as I've planned. I'm feeling fantastic right now. I got sunshine in a bag. Now some levels would really hit the spot. In lieu of that, it is what it is. Were I them, what would I change? They can't even really run hippo at the front. I think for now, I think you just make them get the card, right? So the thing that I would think is that they put their strongest unit up at the front. They put this melon hippo at the front. But then when it hits us, nobody's going to die. I'll get a melon. And then depending on your HP, at worst case scenario, our hippos cancel each other out. The rest of your squad might clear mine. But I think that this is not so bad. They're taking, and you know what? Use the clock. I can't be mad at you for using the clock. They didn't change anything, I think. And ergo, I mean, we're sitting pretty, man. Oh, can I allow myself to toot my own horn a little bit? First off, thanks for the ranking points. I appreciate it, and good game. But secondly, we've been winning with some different squads too. Hippo, Dragon, I forget what else, Lion. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Subscribe if you want to see more in the future. And I'll see you next time. See ya!